1. Introduction. Have you ever wondered why we do what we do? From simple routines like brushing our teeth to complex behaviors like eating habits or work routines, these automatic patterns shape our actions and outcomes. Can we truly change deeply ingrained habits, even those that seem to define us? Charles Duhigg, an investigative reporter for the New York Times, explores this question in his book, The Power of Habit. Drawing on extensive research, including hundreds of academic studies and interviews with scientists and executives, Duhigg delves into the science of habit formation, revealing how habits emerge, function, and importantly, how they can be transformed. 2. The Marshmallow Test. A quiet room, a small table, and a single marshmallow sitting on a plate. Now, a child sitting across from it, their eyes wide with curiosity and temptation. This is the famous Marshmallow Test, conducted in the 1960s by psychologist Walter Mischel at Stanford University. The setup, a sweet dilemma. One by one, children were brought into the room. A researcher explained the rules in a calm and friendly tone. You see this marshmallow? You can eat it now if you want. But if you wait until I come back, without eating it, you'll get 2 marshmallows instead of 1. The researcher then left the room, leaving the child alone with their thoughts and the marshmallow. For a young child, this was no ordinary decision. It was a battle of desires, the immediate gratification of devouring the marshmallow versus the promise of a greater reward if they could just hold out a little longer. The struggle begins. As soon as the door closed, the drama began. Some children stared at the marshmallow as if it were their mortal enemy. Others poked it, sniffed it, or even licked it, testing the boundaries of the rules. A few couldn't hold out for even a minute. They popped the marshmallow into their mouths and enjoyed every second of it. But others fought harder. They covered their eyes, turned their chairs away, or distracted themselves by humming songs or playing with their hands. These kids were determined to resist, even as the marshmallow seemed to grow larger and more tempting with every passing second. For what felt like an eternity, but was really just 15 minutes, the children wrestled with their impulses. And when the researcher finally returned, some children beamed with pride as they claimed their second marshmallow, while others looked sheepish, the empty plate in front of them telling the story of their defeat. At first glance, it seemed like a simple experiment about patience. But years later, when the researchers followed up with these children, they discovered something remarkable. The kids who had resisted the marshmallow, those who had waited for the second one, were more likely to succeed in life. They performed better in school, had healthier relationships, and were less likely to struggle with addiction or financial troubles. In contrast, the children who couldn't wait tended to face more challenges as they grew older. How often do we face our own marshmallows in life? Maybe it's the urge to check our phones instead of focusing on work, or the temptation to spend money on something we don't need instead of saving for the future. And just like those kids who turned away from the marshmallow, we can train ourselves to resist the pull of instant gratification and aim for something greater. 3. The secret code. Think you're in control of everything you do? Think again. Our brains are masters of efficiency, and they've developed a secret code to make life easier: habits. These are the autopilot actions we perform without even thinking, like brushing our teeth, getting dressed, or scrolling through social media. They may seem small, but over time, habits have a huge impact on our lives, shaping everything from our health and happiness to our success in school and work. Can we change habits, especially those that seem deeply ingrained? Scientists have discovered a fascinating neurological loop at the heart of every habit, called the habit loop. It's like a 3-step recipe your brain follows to turn actions into automatic routines. 1. Cue. This is the starting pistol that triggers the habit. It can be anything from a specific time of day, like feeling tired in the afternoon, to a particular location, like walking past your favorite bakery, or even an emotion, like feeling stressed after a long day. 2. Routine. This is the action you perform on autopilot, the habit itself. It can be a physical action, like biting your nails, a mental process, like worrying about an upcoming test, or an emotional response, like getting angry in traffic. 3. Reward. This is the satisfying feeling that makes you want to repeat the habit. It could be a delicious taste, like that chocolate chip cookie, a sense of accomplishment, like finishing a tough workout, or even a temporary escape from stress, like zoning out in front of the TV. The habit loop in action. Let's say you have a habit of snacking on chips while watching TV. The cue might be sitting on the couch in the evening, the routine is grabbing a bag of chips and munching away, and the reward is the salty, crunchy taste and the feeling of relaxation. To really grasp the power of the habit loop, let's meet Eugene, a man whose story unlocked many secrets about how habits work. Eugene suffered from a brain injury that left him unable to form new memories. He couldn't remember what he had for breakfast or the names of his doctors. But here's the amazing part: Eugene could still learn new habits. Researchers would take Eugene on walks, and even though he couldn't remember the route, he'd unconsciously learn the path and start taking it automatically. This groundbreaking discovery showed that habits are stored in a different part of the brain than memories, and they can operate even when our conscious minds are out of the loop. The power of chunking. Our brains use a clever trick called chunking to form habits. It's like taking a bunch of small actions, like putting on your seatbelt, adjusting your mirrors, and starting the car, and combining them into one smooth, automatic routine. Driving. This frees up our minds to focus on other things, like enjoying the scenery or planning our day. Habits. Your brain's energy savers. Think of your brain as a powerful computer. It can do amazing things, but it also needs to conserve energy. Habits are like shortcuts that help our brains run more efficiently. They allow us to perform complex actions without using up a lot of mental energy. But here's the catch. Our brains can't always tell the difference between good habits and bad habits. So once a habit is formed, it's always lurking in the background, waiting for the right cue to trigger it. 4. The Toothpaste Trickster. Ever feel like you need that candy bar, video game fix, or social media scroll? That's your brain's craving in action. Cravings are the secret ingredient that makes the habit loop spin. They're the powerful desires that fuel our habits and make them so hard to resist. Let's rewind back to the early 1900s and meet a clever ad man named Claude Hopkins, the mastermind behind one of the most successful advertising campaigns in history. Back then, brushing your teeth wasn't exactly a daily ritual for most people. But Hopkins had a secret weapon. He knew how to create cravings. His mission? To make Pepsodent toothpaste a household name. He needed to find a cue and a reward that would trigger a powerful habit loop. His solution was ingenious. The cue: he targeted a film that naturally forms on teeth. He told everyone this film was the enemy of beautiful smiles and must be removed daily. The reward: he added a special ingredient to Pepsodent that made it tingle when you brushed. This tingling sensation, while having nothing to do with the toothpaste's cleaning ability, created a sense of cleanliness and freshness. By connecting the cue, tooth film, with the reward, tingling freshness, Hopkins created a craving that drove people to brush their teeth every day. People started craving that tingling feeling and associated it with clean teeth, even though the tingling was just a clever marketing trick. How to create new habits. Feed the craving. The key to creating new habits is to understand the role of cravings. It's not enough to just identify a cue and a reward. You need to cultivate a craving that drives the loop. 1. Choose a cue. Pick a specific trigger that will signal the start of your new habit. 2. Define the routine. Clearly outline the actions you want to perform. 3. Identify a reward. Choose a satisfying payoff that will make you want to repeat the habit. 4. Cultivate the craving. Think about the reward and allow yourself to anticipate the pleasurable feeling it will bring. Example: want to start a daily exercise routine? 1. Cue: set your alarm 30 minutes earlier each morning. 2. Routine: go for a brisk walk or do a quick workout video. 3. Reward: enjoy a healthy smoothie or a sense of accomplishment for starting your day strong. 4. Cultivate the craving. Visualize yourself feeling energized and proud after your workout. Imagine the refreshing taste of your smoothie. By deliberately cultivating a craving for the reward, you're supercharging your habit loop and making it more likely that your new habit will stick. 5. The casino's grip. N.G. Bachman's story, as detailed in the sources, offers a chilling illustration of how casinos exploit the power of habit to keep gamblers hooked, even when it leads to devastating consequences. Creating a safe haven, casinos are meticulously designed to create an immersive environment that encourages habitual behavior. Soothing lighting, the rhythmic sounds of slot machines, and the absence of clocks or windows all contribute to a sense of timelessness and escape from everyday life. The allure of near misses, slot machines, a mainstay of casinos, are programmed to deliver a high frequency of near misses, moments when the reels almost align, creating a sense of anticipation and excitement that mirrors the thrill of winning. Neuroscientific research reveals that these near misses activate the same reward centers in the brain as actual wins, particularly in pathological gamblers. This constant reinforcement, even in the absence of actual victories, keeps gamblers hooked, feeding the habit loop with a steady stream of dopamine. Pavlovian marketing. Casinos employ sophisticated data-driven strategies to track gambler behavior, predict spending patterns, and personalize incentives to maximize profits. They use loyalty programs, personalized offers, and even emotional appeals to lure gamblers back into the cycle of betting and spending. This targeted marketing preys on individual vulnerabilities and reinforces habitual gambling patterns. Exploiting emotional vulnerability. Casinos often target individuals experiencing stress, loneliness, or loss, offering a temporary escape from emotional turmoil. For Angie Bachman, the casino became a refuge from the grief of losing her parents and the strain in her marriage. The rush of gambling provided a temporary reprieve from her anxieties, further strengthening the habit loop. The erosion of control. As gambling habits solidify, conscious decision-making gradually diminishes. Gamblers, like Bachman, find themselves acting automatically, driven by cravings and the allure of potential rewards. The casino environment, with its carefully orchestrated cues and rewards, fosters this transition from conscious choice to ingrained habit, making it increasingly difficult to break free. Angie Bachman's experience, while extreme, underscores the dark side of habit formation. Casinos capitalize on the neurobiology of habit, creating environments and utilizing strategies that exploit our vulnerabilities and turn harmless entertainment into a dangerous compulsion. 6. The Golden Rule. Tony Dungy stepped onto the field as the new head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1996. The weight of the team's history pressed on his shoulders, a history stained with losses, particularly on the West Coast, where they hadn't won in 16 years. He knew he was facing more than just talented opponents. He was facing deeply ingrained habits of losing. Dungy understood that he couldn't just tell his players to change. He had to work with the existing habits, the automatic reactions honed over years of playing. He knew he had to change the Buccaneers from the inside out, and he had a plan. His plan was built on the golden rule of habit change, to keep the old cue and the old reward, but to insert a new routine. Instead of trying to create new habits from scratch, he would leverage the familiar triggers and satisfactions that already existed within his players. He would change the how, not the why or the what for. He saw football as a game won and lost in milliseconds, where automatic reactions, not complex thinking, dictated success. He knew that during critical, high-pressure moments, players often abandoned new strategies and reverted back to their old, ingrained habits. So, he simplified the Buccaneers' playbook, focusing on a handful of formations practiced relentlessly until they became second nature. He taught his players to recognize specific visual cues, the keys, that would trigger automatic responses. Dungji's unwavering belief in his system and his players slowly began to transform the Buccaneers. The once defeated team started to taste victory, making it to the playoffs for the first time in 15 years in Dungji's second season as coach. You can never truly extinguish a bad habit, you can only change it. This rule, backed by countless studies, emphasizes keeping the old cue and reward while inserting a new routine. Keep the old cue. Identify the trigger that initiates the habit. Provide the old reward. Understand what satisfaction the habit provides. Insert a new routine. Replace the old behavior with a new action that delivers the same reward. If you have a habit of snacking on cookies when you feel stressed, cue, and the reward is a temporary escape from anxiety, the golden rule suggests finding a new routine that provides the same stress relief, like taking a short walk or listening to calming music. 7. Starbucks' latte method. Imagine you've just landed your first job at Starbucks. You're excited, but also kinda nervous. It's your first real job, and you want to do good. But dealing with grumpy customers, especially when it's super busy, seems scary. That's where Starbucks special training comes in. It's like a secret weapon to help you stay cool under pressure. One of the coolest things they teach you is the latte method. It's like a 5-step dance for dealing with a customer who's having a meltdown. 1. Listen, really hear what they're saying, even if they're being a jerk. 2. Acknowledge. Let them know you get it, like, I understand you're frustrated. 3. Take action. Fix the problem, like making them a new drink or giving them a refund. 4. Thank them. Yep, even if they were rude. It shows you're professional. 5. Explain. Tell them why the mistake happened, so they know it won't happen again. Think of it like this. A customer yells, "My latte is cold!" You don't freak out, you do the latte dance. You listen, acknowledge, fix it, thank them, and explain it was a machine glitch. Boom! Problem solved, customer happy, you're a rock star. Those are the moments when things could go really good or really bad, like when the line is out the door and everyone is in a rush. They help you plan ahead for these moments, so you don't get overwhelmed. They give you workbooks to write out your plans, like a playbook for tough situations. You practice these plans over and over until they become automatic. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first it's wobbly, but then it becomes second nature. Their training gives you the superpower of self-control, so you can handle anything that comes your way. You'll learn to manage your emotions, solve problems like a pro, and make customers happy. Who knows, you might even become the manager one day. Just like water carves a path through dirt, habits carve paths in our brains. These well-worn neural pathways influence everything from how we start our day to how we handle stress. Habits, even deeply ingrained ones, are not our destiny. We have the power to understand them, reshape them, and ultimately, choose the paths we want to take in life.
恭喜你又听完了一本书，订阅以便不错过更多精彩节目，也别忘了分享给你的朋友，一起快乐听书学英语。